back to my channel. I hope you all are well. And so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I got this purple and orange cut crease look, also with this purple lip. And so yeah, make sure you thumbs up this video, give it a like down below, and comment as well. All right, now let's get into the video. Hey y'all, so we're starting with my eyebrows already done, and I also went ahead and put the base down for my eyeshadow, and so we're just gonna hop into that so you can see how I got this part. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start with the Becca Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector, just to dry the brow area out some. And so yeah, I'm just smoothing that out, patting it into the area. And now I'm gonna take this NYX Honey Do Me Up primer, and I'm gonna put that on my face. That way it can have time to just settle in and mix with my skin. All right, now we're gonna go in with the NYX Professionals Precision Brow Pencil, just to basically create the shape of the brow. I'm outlining around at the bottom, and then now I'm outlining at the top, and then I'm taking the tip of the pencil and just drawing small hair-like strokes. Okay, and now I'm just going to take the spoolie end of that brow pencil just to blend everything out. And now I'm going to go in with my Ruby Kisses GoBrow eyebrow mascara. And this is, I use this to darken up my brow hairs as well as to set them into place. Now I'm going to go in with my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define, and this is in the shade C12.5, and I'm just using that to carve out my brow. And now I'm taking a small fluffy brush just to blend that out some. And so for the top of my brow, I'm going to take my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and this is in the shade Mahogany. And this is just to carve out the top of my brow. I just like to use a darker shade, that way when I go in with my foundation, it'll be an easier transition. And using that same fluffy brush just to blend the edges out. Now I'm going to go in with another Makeup Revolution concealer, and this is in the shade C1. This is pretty much as close to white. They do have a white shade, I just couldn't find it, so I'm using C1, and this is just to create a base for my eyeshadows. Alright, so now I have my crease shade and my transition shade blended in on my eye, and now I'm going to show you how I got this part so far. Okay, so now I'm just going to go back with blending that out some, and now I'm going to take the Patricia Bright palette from Makeup Revolution, and I'm going to go in with the shade Miss Tropicana, and I'm taking this shade and blending it into my crease area. And as you blend, you are going to have to go back in to intensify the color some more. So don't be alarmed, just keep blending out and then just add more color back into it to make sure you have the intensity that you desire. And now I'm going to go in with the shade Vitamin C, and this is kind of a true yellow color, and I'm going to use that to blend out the orange shade that we used before. So just going on top of that shade some and just working the two colors together and to create a seamless blend. And so you are going to have to go back and forth between the brush you use for the orange shade and the brush you use with the yellow shade, and just
keep swapping back and forth and blending, and the you know, the blend for that will come together eventually. Also, the same thing with the orange shade. You are going to have to go back to add more color, more of the shadow to your eye to ensure that you have the right intensity that you want. And now we're going to go back in that same palette and take the shade Elegant. This is a beige shade, and I'm just using this in my brow bone area. And this is to blend out the yellow shade to make sure it's no harsh line.
Alright, so I just wanted to talk through this part of the video, and we're going to go ahead and move into cutting the crease. So to cut my crease, I'm going to use Vaseline. Gonna use Vaseline.
Vaseline. What is it?
The Vaseline trick to cut my crease. I'm gonna take a flat brush, and I'm literally just gonna dip it inside my Vaseline and cut my crease with the Vaseline and then wipe it away.
Alright, and as I previously stated, I'm just taking this flat brush, dipping it inside the Vaseline, and cutting my crease with it. And so this trick came from P. Louise, and basically you're just gonna cut your crease like normal, and then you'll take a wipe or a Q-tip, whichever you prefer, and wipe it all away. And for some reason the Vaseline takes literally everything with it. So this is a good trick to use when you want to get a clean cut crease. And so now I am just taking a makeup wipe, and I am wiping away that Vaseline, and as you'll see, it's just taking it off clean. Alright, and now I am going to take the same Makeup Revolution concealer in C1, and I am now going to set that lid area, and I'm just using this as a base for the colors that are going to go on top of it.
Okay, so now the crease is cut, and it's time to go ahead and move on into those lid, the shadows for the lid. So for the first color, I'm going to be using this Zion palette, and I'm going to be going in with the shade Wild River, which is this light purple color, and then this is just going to go in the inner sections of my eye. And then after that, I'm gonna go in back into the Patricia Bright palette and use this purple color Reckless, and then that's gonna go on the outer part of the lids.
Alright, and as previously stated, I'm going to take that light purple shade Wild River from the Zion palette, and I'm just going to pack that into the inner corner of my eyelid. And then I'm going to take the darker purple shade from the Patricia Bright palette, and that's called Reckless, and then I'm just going to transition into that on the outer portion of my eyelid. And so with this process, the concealer is still a bit wet. It's not completely dry. And so you just want to make sure that you're going to pack enough color on there. So you just want to make sure that you keep dipping the brush back into the eyeshadow and just pack that color on. And now we're moving into that darker shade, and you're just going to do the same thing. Continue to pick up color and pack it on. And then right here, I started to go back and forth between both of the brushes. So I will pick up the brush that had the lighter purple on it and then just keep going back and forth over that line of demarcation in the middle just to kind of blur it out some. And then once I did that, I took a small fluffy brush just to help blend those two shades together even more. Alright, and so now those two, that's done. Now we're going to move into the liner portion, and I'm going to be using a NYX white liquid liner just to line right in the crease, right where the cut crease meets. That's where I'm going to line it. And so you just want to take your time with this because you really have to have a steady hand to be able to draw your crease how you want it to be. So now I'm going to take some lashes. These are the lashes I'm going to be using, and I'm just going to take my Duo Lash Glue and line my waterline. That way I can just stick the lashes on really easily. Alright, and so now the lashes are done, and we're going to move into the face. And I'm going to take the same Becca concealer, and I'm just going to put that layered on top of the NYX primer that I used earlier. And I'm going to be using the Juvia's Place foundation, and I'm in the shade 310 Burkina. And so I'm just going to work that in on my face with a foundation brush first, and then I'll go back with a beauty blender just to set it in. And now I'm going to be taking my Makeup Revolution concealer in C12.5 just to highlight the areas of my face. And I'm just going to use my beauty blender to blend those areas out. Okay, and just continue to blend those areas. And now I'm going to take my Too Faced translucent setting powder to set those same areas that I just highlighted. And so yeah, I'm just gonna go over those. We're not gonna bake, just put enough to set the concealer in place. And now we're gonna get ready to add the setting powder to my nose. And I also use the Makeup Revolution Deep Dark setting powder to set the rest of my face. So just pour some out and just lightly dust it over the rest of your face. And for contour, I'm going to be using my Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette. And this is in dark to deep. And I'm just going to use that to contour my face. I contour my cheeks and my forehead. And now I'm going to take the same fluffy brush that I used with my Deep Dark setting powder. And now we're going to move into highlighter. I'm using the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Foil highlighters. And I'm taking the orange shade Mimosa Sunrise, and I'm putting that on first. And then I'm going to move into Sangria Sunset, and I'm going to layer that on top as well. And now for our eyes, I'm going to be using this Milk eyeliner, and this is a brown eyeliner, and I'm just going to be putting that right into my waterline. And I'm going to go back into the Patricia Bite palette, and I'm going to take the dark purple shade Reckless with a small blending brush just to put that color there. And now I'm going to take a purple lip liner that I have just to line my lips. And so yeah, so the trick that I like to use when lining my lips is just make an X right at the center point of your lips, and that's just to make sure that it's really crisp. And then after that, then you can just line around the rest of your lips and just bring that lip liner shade in some, and this will make it a smoother transition with your lipstick. And now I'm gonna go into setting my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. And then once I spray that on, I'm going to take the bottom of my beauty blender to just blend that in some. And now we're jumping back to lips. And so the colors I'm going to be using are for the Vivid Matte Liquid Lipstick from Maybelline. And this is in the shade Orchid Shock. And then I'm going to be using an LA Girl color that's called Iconic. And I'm just going to layer those on. And then once that's done, I'm going to use a NYX Butter Gloss. And this is in the shade Fortune Cookie, just to put that right in the center of my lip.
Alright guys, so this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.